Hey guys, it's August 1st, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about chestnut trees. But before I get into that, I don't feel like I've done a great job of explaining what I'm really trying to do with this channel. So, I live in South Dakota. I'm very passionate about this state, and one thing that I've really noticed is there's not a lot of video content on, my local, the state in general, really talking about, the wildlife aspect, food plots. You got all these guys down south in Iowa, they're always planting different food plots and stuff, but I don't see a lot of guys doing what I'm doing. So the other thing that I do is my main job is I'm a territory manager for Farmers Business Network. So I'm an agronomist. That's my profession, but my real passion is conservation. So I started a food plot business about 10 years ago, and I've been working at it. It's more or less a side gig or a hobby. It kind of helps fund my equipment habit. It gives me the ability to buy some new things. It's not a real big money maker, but anyway, so I do everything from planting winter rye to planting chestnuts to corn to milo to sunflowers, and just kind of measuring how the wildlife really like different aspects of the crop. So that's kind of what this channel is all about. But anyway, today I want to talk about chestnuts. And how I got on this big chestnut kick was last year I came across this company. I was searching online or whatever for some apple trees, and they're called Whitetail Hill chestnuts. And so this company, on their website, they do a great job of explaining all these different varieties. They sell anything from apple trees to plum trees to different kinds of brushes, and kind of explaining the different aspects of the benefits of each plant or each tree, and they do a great job of telling you how to plant it, what grows best in what areas, and when you order, they'll send it to you in the time that you need to plant. So if you order it in February, if you live in my area, they're probably going to ship those trees in April. Okay. So anyway, I came across this company and I started digging into chestnuts. And what's so appealing about chestnut trees is, first off, I don't think there's a chestnut tree within a 5-mile radius of my property, if not further. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive there's not. And supposedly deer really love them. They prefer them to like acorns or something. And the other thing that's so neat about them is there's late drop and early drop. So you can get a variety that's dropping chestnuts in like October, November. So you're starting to get into the rut, and that, versus like an apple tree that's pretty much done towards, the beginning of October, September. So that's a really early season play. And the thing I love about trees is work on them for a couple years, get them going, make sure they're watered well, and then walk away. Okay, they're going to take care of themselves. You might have to do throw a little bit of fertilizer on them, but for the most part, they're not like food plots where you have to go in and you plant corn every year and disc it and spray it. Anyway, so I came across that, but I really struggled. Okay, so I ordered 2 last fall, and I didn't put. I ordered some tree tubes. They sell like $5 tree tubes. They're white tubes. These things are like this big. Okay, they give you a tree that's like that, so it completely consumes the tree. And I just didn't feel like it was getting enough sunlight, so I left them off. And I was thinking, okay, it's in the fall and they're small, and they're not big enough for the bucks to rub on, and I don't think they're going to eat the leaves. Well, I couldn't have been more than wrong. Okay, they destroyed it, and I should have known better. But whatever. I said, okay, I'm going to try again this spring. So I did, and so I made some new tree cages, and out of metal. They were actually, my dad made some. He used to make them that metal wire they use for cement, and you get it from Menards. It's like $6, and he uses them for his tomato cages. And then I took chicken wire and I wrapped it around it, and I can make a video on how I make those. But anyway, and they are kind of expensive. I think you're running about like $12 to make one, so I wouldn't want to make a ton of them. But boy, do they work. I mean, you throw them in the ground, and the rabbits and the deer can't get to it, and then once, you can just pull them off. Once the tree gets too big, then you can just take them off by the side, and there you go. But anyway, so I made these new tree cages, and so out of the 3, I planted one in a low spot. Okay, that's the thing about chestnuts. They don't like low-lying areas. And I was like, maybe I'll get away with it. No. Okay, that one drowned it out and died. But the other 2 were they weren't doing great. They weren't dead by any means. They weren't, but they were yellow. They weren't putting on new leaves. And I'm like, And I was like, okay, I remember chestnuts really like acidic soil. Okay, so I went and got myself a pH tester. Okay, it's like $30 on Amazon. It's a battery powered one. You can get one that's doesn't use any batteries, but this one had a better recommendation. So that's what I got. Anyway, so I'm running 7.2 pH. I need like a 6. So I'm like, man, I need these trees to turn around, quick, and it's really hard to change your pH overnight. Almost impossible. Okay. But then I was like, well, maybe if I go get some lime juice, you can get like a quart of lime juice from Dollar General for like $1.50. Okay. So I was like, maybe if I dump some lime juice on that, that will temporarily change my pH, and I can kind of try and mess with it later. So that's what I went and did. I went and got like a quart of lime juice. I dumped it on these trees, and within a week and a half later, they really turned around. They started to green up, put on new leaves, and I'm like, okay, that's a temporary solution to a long-term problem. So with my experience with soil health and my agronomy end of things, I know that I need some elemental sulfur. So I ordered some elemental sulfur off Amazon. Probably could have went to the co-op, it'd been a lot cheaper. Probably might even given it to me, but I didn't want to mess with it, so I just ordered that. And it only takes like a cup. I mean, you're not treating a very big area, it's just a tree. So I sprinkled that over it, as a long-term solution. And how that works is, what makes your pH is calcium, magnesium, potassium, and organic matter. And your percentages there, it's called your base saturation, is your calcium is like, to get like a 6-point pH, which is somewhat hard to achieve, but well, depending on where you're at, but that's like the perfect amounts, like 75% calcium, 15% magnesium, 5% potassium, and 5% organic matter. But anyway, and I probably should have done a soil test on these, but I was going to spend $45 a tree to do it, to send it into AgVice to really figure out what's going on. So I just took a stab at it. I dumped on some elemental sulfur to try and drag that magnesium out of the soil and lower my pH. Okay, so I did that, and I went and got some manure. Now, manure can help lower organic matter, or not organic matter, lower pH. It's high in organic matter. So I dumped that on there. Be careful where you get it, because if the manure that you got was from some cows that were eating some hay that was treated with like Grazon or Tordon or Milestone or anything like that, it can carry over and kill your trees or your garden if that's what you're planning to. So be careful where you get it from. But anyway, so I dumped that. Boy, did these trees turn around. They started to green up. They put on new leaves. It was amazing. Okay, and I remeasured my pH. I went from a 7.2 to a 6.1. And we're going to continue to monitor that, see if we don't need to add more elemental sulfur, and see if we can't just help adjust it. But as of right now, these trees are thriving. But anyway, if you're thinking about planting chestnut trees, I hope this helps you. You guys have a great day.